Okay, take two. This is the second try for um, the match. There were some technical problems for the German team in the first match, and we will. Yeah, we have a game. Let's see if I can jump into it. Can anyone in chat tell me if they see the loading screen? Thank you. Well, here we are. Match is about to begin in 2 minutes. So we have another chance of talking us through this. These are the German forces. Yellow player is Matthias playing as the Wehrmacht. He has a totally empty loadout because he's just a supporting player. The main player is Action Villain. He plays OKW and represents the 12th SS Panzer Division, Hitlerjugend. Defending BURON, which is to the south of here. This is between BURON and the beaches, and this big road here is actually supposed to represent the main road coming up from the beaches. It's actually called D220. The attacking forces are, the main player is Burner, Mr. Burner, who's playing the 4th SS Brigade, Special Services Brigade, supported by the 5th Canadian Armor Brigade. And that, who's played by Trossis. He has a loadout of Royal Engineer Regiment, Advanced Emplacement, and Special Weapon. And Mr. Burner, as the 4th Special Service Brigade, is playing as Commando, Mobile Assault, and Vanguard. So very commando-oriented doctrines. Back here with the 12th SS, OKW, we have Breakthrough, Elite Armored, and Feuersturm. So the match is about to begin. There are no other special conditions for this game. In the little pre-battle where there were technical issues, the Brits were rushing for this village here. Let's see if that's what they're doing this time. Okay, now we're starting. Seem to be live. Everything works. The troops are actually moving this time. See if the Brits are rushing. Yes, they are. But so are the Germans this time. They actually seem to be rushing in. And the Brits, the Canadians follow up with a Vickers machine gun straight away. Probably to fortify this city here. And the 12th SS, they're going for Volksgrenadiers and a Kubelwagen. Probably to quickly capture territory. And the 21st Panzer Division, they are moving forward with 2 engineers and a machine, 3 engineers and a machine gun. So no grenadiers, they haven't built the second building for the... And now the Brits are approaching the city. They're rushing in. It's only defended by one squad of Sturm Pioneers. And there's a supporting squad of Volksgrenadier following up. Doesn't seem like they're supporting each other. The German player is really rushing across the board. The 21st Panzer Division under Matthias. You will see a shootout. That's the Vickers coming up as support here maybe. Kubelwagen is also driving in. You gotta remember that the Kubelwagen is a pretty squishy thing. And the Sturm Pioneers are already taking casualties. Another Vickers from Mr. Burner is moving in to occupy another building. Seems like the Kubelwagen might be going down already. Sturm Pioneers is down 2 men, Kubelwagen's down. Seems like the Brits are slowly gaining control of this. They have they suffered 1 casualty on 1 section, and the Germans are going. This Sturm Pioneer is it's actually going down. You gotta remember that the Sturm Pioneers is a very expensive elite unit. Yep. The Brits are consolidating in town, and the Volksgrenadiers are bleeding out in the buildings. Yeah, there they are. Oh, and that squad gets deleted as well. Just as in the last game, the Brits have rushed for a VP and consolidated there. The British faction is very good at holding territory, but the problem now is that none of this is connected, and they're bringing up units to connect it. To the north, they're rushing with a machine gun that's getting to feel the power of these. Yeah, they're rushing for a building. They might be able to take this position since they're in a building against these pioneers. Unless the pioneers are bringing up some flamethrowers to burn out this one. You can also see that the German territory here is not connected, so they can't take any advantage of all this fuel here and these territories here. They need to reconnect it with these ones. There's one Volksgrenadier trying to get into town, but it's already filled to the brim with British troops. A total of 3 MGs. And here you have 1 MG up there. So the Brits have really built a lot of Vickers. And rightly so, the Volksgrenadier don't dare to peek out. They're just hanging back there. But the Germans really need to connect these territories. The victory points are taken down. The Brits are down to 421, but that's not going to be enough. You have British Vickers running into some pioneers in the middle. And maybe this one is getting deleted as well. Yeah. Pretty tough battle up here between the pioneers and the lone Vickers, who's getting supported by another infantry section though. Now the Brits have connected their territory. This squad actually did it. So now the territories for the Brits are connected. The Germans really need to connect their territories. This is not working out for them. Lone Volksgrenadier squad tried to cross the bridge. Big mistake. Inside this. Seems like the Brits are taking the north city. Germans still one point from connecting all their territories. This one's not taken and this one's not taken. Can't really see where there's there's a pioneer in. There's a pioneer who actually disconnected the British lines at 2 points. So they're completely disconnected from their fuel now. The Maschinengewehr team is awaiting orders. Yeah, can't say this enough. The Germans really need to connect their territories. Otherwise this won't work. Someone has a line to the Germans, please tell them to connect their territories for God's sake. Yeah, we're 5 minutes behind though, so that won't have an effect. British machine gun running straight into an MG42. Getting rightly so annihilated. Small force of Brits are taking the northern VP. The enemy is taking our territory. Okay, we have the first commander choice. It's the 5th Canadian that's choosing the Advance Emplacement Regiment, probably to fortify this middle. Getting pinned down by this. Oh, there's like a hyper aggressive MG sneaking up behind, possibly running into the base of the Brits. There's this hyper aggressive play from the Germans. Yeah, he's running in to the arc of the machine gun there. And now he's running into the arc of the, well, that's gonna have to retreat straight away. Yeah, that's gonna be deleted. Got a lone pioneer parking up there. What else is happening? Are they still? They have connected their territories actually. The Brits. They're connected through this point there and through down here. They're trying to sneak their forces around this wood here, and the Germans are camping out over there. But I don't know how this MG managed to get here, but they're really disconnecting each other. The 21st Panzer Division under Matthias, you gotta give it to him. He's not connecting his territories, but he's playing very unconventionally. He's got almost only pioneers and MG42s. Gotta say, I like the aggressiveness of this player, but it's really, you need to connect your territories. I think the action villain should sort of bring out some troops, since he's yeah, Gianordano, you were right. Okay, we got a doctrine choice from the OKW player. It's Feuersturm, possibly hoping to burn these Brits out. It really hurts my eyes to see that these territories are not connected. Could be very much better for the Germans. It's also, this is also unacceptable that the action villain is floating so much resources. Got this MG42 battling it out with Universal Carrier upgraded with a Vickers K machine gun. Actually obscured by the smoke here of the wreckage of the Kubelwagen, so that allows the British player to move up his troops. Can't see any good future for this machine gun there from Matthias. Okay, now I'm really happy to see that these territories are actually connected now. Oof. But there's still one over there. You know, it would be so easy to just send the squad there and go cap it and then take it back. Well, yeah. MG actually survives and moves towards the base. I can't believe this. It's nice. And another machine gun connecting the fuel up there. And Action Villain, I don't know if he's sleeping, but he needs to build. He needs to use all these manpower he has. There hasn't been so much fuel for the Germans. You can see that the fuel values are so much higher for the Brit players. But at the same time, they're playing so unconventional to the point of, you know, disruptive. Their Pioneer score goes down. This Vickers up here doesn't have that much future. But let's have a look at the Brits. And yeah, they have people in almost every building. But that territory is not connected. Lone Pioneer squad's dying out against this Brit defenses up here on this northern VP. Now the pressure is on the Germans. Now maybe it's been on for a while, but this victory point is of course occupied by the Brits and also the northern point. So now what the Brits need to do is basically camp on these points to win, and the pressure is on the Germans to take them back.
Stocks of better grenades are being made available to the infantry.
Yeah.
Anti-tank gun ready to do some damage.
Action Villain is starting to bombard the city with these infantry support gun, like the Infanteriegeschütz. And oh yeah, Brits are starting to dig in on the north, and we have a doctrine selection commando regiment for Mr. Burner.
Infantry squads can have an additional infantryman.
MG42 retreating.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector. HMG has us ranged.
Let's see where we are here. We are, yeah, they're running into machine gun fire here. These pioneers trying to charge into the city from the north. See that both the British player has oops, 2 machine guns is lying here. That's really the Germans are trying to take the town now, very unsuccessfully. Okay, W player has teched up, but since he does not have so much fuel, this could go rather stinky. These squads are just rushing the city without any cover. They're easy prey for these machine guns. The Germans are just throwing themselves at these defenses. You see that the Brits in the north have consolidated their position. Pretty nice defense there. Yeah. Let's see how this infantry support gun is doing. It looks like he would need like 3 of them to do anything. It's killed 2 people only. The Germans, the OKW player Action Villain is bringing up a Puma. It's not gonna have so much to shoot at. Maybe this.
Improved grenades are being supplied to Tommies.
The Matthias still hasn't teched up. He's sending in some engineers. You know, it's like got so much munitions. He could have upgraded these guys to flamers and tried to storm the city that way. We got a British mortar emplacement answering the fire over here. Brits are moving in from the north, building even more machine guns. And if the Germans would have some tanks, they could rush into this, because there's only one anti-tank gun guarding. Also here. Infantry support gun has managed to kill 1 more, but this defense here stands. Don't know what the Germans are gonna do with this. Action Villain is building a lot of machine guns. I'm not sure if that's the smartest thing to do. Yeah, he got oh, that was a Puma. It got knocked out straight away. He just tried to drive into the city. Yeah. Brit glider coming in. It's a commando glider, maybe going for the central VP. Or cutting off the lines here. Commandos have arrived. Let's see what they do. And now we have 2 infantry Geschütz, but one is very far away. Might be able to do something though. Sending in a machine gun, standing out in the open. This is something you shouldn't do in Company Heroes. At least not without the smoke screen. Yeah, commanders are cutting off here, but it's not going to be enough to cut them off. But right now the Germans have no fuel. You know, their tanks are pretty far away. But here you have Matthias, who's have 270 fuel, and he's not doing anything with it. He's not taking up, he's not doing anything. Getting into this village, it's gonna be really tough. We got a nice little squad of commandos camping out in this wood, probably providing reconnaissance if something nasty comes that way. But right now it doesn't seem like the the Germans are making that many nasty stuff. You know, they're trying to get MGs into these buildings, but they're dying on the way, and once they occupy the buildings, this mortar is really taking them out.
wiped out. New machine gun crew ready and waiting.
Infantry section wiped out though. I'm guessing these two infantry support guns are racking up kills. The two pioneers just sitting in this building.
Pioneers ready for the enemy is gaining a foothold. We are down to 300 points.
Another Puma from Action Villain. Not sure that's gonna crack this fortress that the Brits have created. Commandos have moved over to a fence.
We're losing a capture point.
They're trying to occupy the main building here, and they're just getting deleted. Two 80 guns, so now even if they bring up... Where did that Puma go? Is it live still? Yeah, but it can't just go into the village like this. It has nothing to do there. The Puma is an anti-tank vehicle. Not particularly effective against buildings like this. And it's gonna be... I'm guessing they will bring up the 80 guns and just knock it out. Yeah, here they come. Yeah, it goes out. 80 guns got in. Another hit and it's gone. There it goes. Another Puma down. That's where all their fuel goes. And it's not that effective. Yeah, you can see that the early game from the Germans, since they didn't have that fuel connected, they don't have so much now, but they don't have so much to put up against these people. We have the commandos moving in. I don't know if the commandos were the ones taking this out, or if this point was just left unguarded. Yeah, you can see that these infantry support guns are being targeted by the British mortar and are getting knocked out. It's gonna take a while for them to recrew these. Germans are sneaking in. One of the famous attacks, we have artillery coming down somewhere. Where is it? Falling. Yeah, here, they were shooting over here.
Enemy has killed a machine gun crew.
Storm Pioneers sneaking up. Actually a good sneak. That's actually a good attack. But they can't stand still because then the mortar is gonna zoom in on them. They need to charge in and attack here. Next shell is gonna fall on their heads, fellas. Yeah, or a grenade. They have to move. You see, those mortar shells would have taken it out anyway. If you're inside the Brits, you should just rush them. Could have done a lot of damage there, especially with the Panzerschreck. These needs to be recrewed. The Brits are fully upgraded. Cromwell tank has arrived. Or Mr. Werner. Trossis doesn't have anything yet. We can expect to see a lot from the Brits. They have a lot of fuel. Artillery being called down on these ones. Royal Artillery. No, this mortar cover from the Commando Regiment. You can see they're quickly bleeding out to the phosphorus. Managed to capture the point, but then gets killed. Now, very late in the game, we have Panzer II, Lux arriving. Yep. Action Villain could have gotten so much more stuff up. He's floating 2,800 manpower. Two pioneers are trying to retake the center, but here the Brits are already fortified. And they're bringing in more artillery on them. These guys should retreat now. An assault goes into the south of the village, supported by the Loops. She's up against the 80 guns.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Yep. Has he recrewed the support guns? No, they're still there. Don't believe in this attack, but it's still an attack.
High explosive phosphorus mortar rounds
The
ready
Storm
to fire.
Pioneers dying out. 80 guns are moving around to take a shot at this Panzer II. Yeah, he's moving out of the way at least, yeah. Nice. Now maybe someone gets a shot at him. Yes, there. Do the angle of the buildings there made it possible. The city is once again British.
We are down to 75 points. The HQ has been improved again. Time to unleash our heavy tanks.
They rush into a building here. This is just total carnage. Piecemeal attacks on the village result in the units being shot down individually.
Report in. The enemy only have 50 points left.
50 points left for the Germans. They're fighting on, trying out new things, maybe, but not really succeeding. Brits sitting on all 3 VPs and upgraded infantry, well supported. This 80 gun is pointing the wrong way, but it would be dominating if this would go into a late game.
The Germans only have 25 points.
But I don't think it's going into a late game. I think the 12th SF's Panzer Division's attack on BURON met with pretty fierce resistance. Not really the day for the Germans.
Last man in the crease for the Germans. Down to their last 10 points.
Truck coming in.
The squad of pioneers has arrived.
And there. The game is won. The day is won by the Brits. Pretty unconventional start for the Germans. I think they put they really messed it up for the Brits in some way, taking all these territories in the middle, but they had nothing to follow up. They never teched up, and they never brought in the big guns, and the biggest failure was in the beginning, not capitalizing on all these harassment. It would have been so easy to connect these points to actually gain resources from their fuel. At one point, I think they had 2 fuel actually. They had this fuel over here and this fuel over here. So let's look at the numbers. While that load, we can look at the map. This will mean that BURON will go from neutral to blue and become British allied. You can see Trosses, who fortified most of the city, also ranked up the highest score, where the Germans, ran into him piecemeal. Um, and yeah, about a little bit less than half than that, Mr. Burner is coming up, but he did some, strategic maneuvering around the map, taking that northern objective. And the Germans around the same point, both of them. Well, this was a shock for the Germans, I suppose. Hopefully a wake-up call. You can see that he's raked up 124 kills. Trosses, most of the ones were, against the German player Matthias. Well, first day of fighting is done. Both of the games. This was the second in the campaign. Both of the games went to the Brits. So the Brits have defended one territory, Bois de Bavent, and taken land in BURON, advancing on Caen. Well, thank you all. Thanks for playing, everyone, and thanks for viewing.